Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be making some fun spring home decor DIYs. We're going to be using items from the Dollar Tree along with some other budget-friendly pieces. And I also want to thank burlap.com for sending me some wonderful items to try out from their website. We'll talk about that more in just a little bit once we get to those items. But let's get started. I am feeling spring. How about you? We're going to start off this first project with this wooden crate. Now this is quite a bit bigger than the ones you normally can find at the Dollar Tree, but I did find this at the Dollar Tree once upon a time. I have used it, I painted it, you can see some white paint is on there. I am pulling out my Waverly chalk paint in the color Celery, one of my favorite colors to craft with, great for spring, but really all the time. And we're going to repaint this crate. I'm going to paint right over the white. Now this paint is getting towards the bottom and it was a little bit thick, and I don't want to waste it. So I'm adding a little bit of water in, trying to stir it up. I decide I need to shake it. I will say if you do that, and I say this only from experience, put the lid on and then wrap it with a paper towel to shake it, because sometimes that lid may not be complete, especially when there's little crusties on there. This still ended up a little bit thick, but it really spread out fine. Like it looks kind of chunky there, but it actually worked just fine. So don't let your old paints go to waste if they can be salvaged. Sometimes they can't be, but sometimes they can be. So I just wanted to share that with you. We're going to give this crate a coat of paint in the Waverly chalk paint in Celery. I am not doing a super thorough coat. I am painting in between some of the slats. I'm not going to paint the inside because it's already white. And I didn't mind if some of the white peeked through on some of the edges. So that's kind of the route that I'm going to go. I love this color. I think it's so pretty for spring. It's still kind of a neutral. It really blends in with just about anything. And yeah, it's one of my favorite colors. I don't know if it will always, I don't know. I'm like, do I buy another one when I run out of this? I think I probably will. I really, really like this color. It's so pretty. I also like it paired with Moss, which is a darker shade by Waverly. Anyways, give that a big, not a big, a full coat of paint. And then I have this Farm Fresh wood piece. This is from the Dollar Tree as well in a pack. And I previously had painted it white for a project. And I'm just going to take a little bit of brown paint. I'm getting it watered down. I put out way too much paint than I needed. And a stencil brush. And I'm just going to do a little speckled look. This can be messy. I put the piece inside of a box top just to kind of catch all of my splatters, and I was just very careful so that it didn't go all over the place. I thought that was really nice. It kind of looks like some little speckled eggs, which you will see later in this DIY. For some embellishments, I pulled out these stickers from the Dollar Tree. They're like I don't remember what they're called, gem stickers. And I wanted to paint them like a brown, but the brown I had was an acrylic paint, and I knew that that wouldn't cover as well. So I started with a little bit of black paint, that I had that was in a chalk paint, and then I used my heat gun to dry them really quick, and then went over it with a couple coats of a brown acrylic paint, because that was more the look I wanted, but I knew that the chalk paint would give better coverage, especially for something so like shiny like this. So just another little tip for you. If you don't have chalk paint, just do more coats of the acrylic paint, but if you can do a base of chalk paint, that would be helpful. I'm going to take a minute to talk a little bit about burlap.com. They had reached out to me and wanted to know if I wanted to try any of their products. And as soon as I checked out their website, I was like, yes, this is right up my alley. They have so many fun things to choose from. They have fabrics and ribbons and other products, all sorts of burlap in many styles, sizes, colors. They also have some ready-made decor items that are perfect for DIY projects. So many things to choose from, lots of different colors, materials, and I want to thank them for sending these to me. I'm going to have their website along with the products that I received to try out down in the description box with all of the links for you in case you want to check that out. All of the details down below. Check that out. But lots of really fun different things. They had bags, totes, they had table runners, tablecloths, some things that you could use as is and some things that you could DIY with. And their stuff is right up my alley, and we're going to be using a few of those products in today's video. So thank you to burlap.com for sending them to me, and let's get on with the DIYs. So I have this ribbon from burlap.com. I had accidentally got the cardboard wet, so it's kind of bowing out on one side, but I got this in a nice neutral color, and we're going to make some little handles for our little crate. These are just obviously not functional handles, but then I did realize before I attached them that I wanted to distress this crate a little bit, just a little bit of light sanding to just kind of smooth out edges and let some of that white and even the wood peek through in a couple spots, just so that it looked a little bit more aged, for, I don't know, aged, rustic, whatever you want to say, distressed. So I did go in with my little finger sander. Okay, back to the handles, and I was just figuring out where I wanted to place them, how, obviously I want them to be centered, but how high up on the side of the crate that I wanted to put these. So I'm just using this ribbon, and I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue on the one side that is already in place, and then I will shrink it in a little bit to give us a loop, so that that's kind of what gives us the handle, and just a little dab of hot glue underneath that. Very simple to do. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Leanne, and I enjoy sharing budget-friendly DIYs here on this channel, and I hope that you consider subscribing so that you don't miss out on my future videos. I'm going to put that on both sides, obviously, and then the little stickers that we painted earlier they're like attached together in a string, kind of. So I just trimmed off the edges and put a little dab of hot glue, and we're going to place those on. And these are my intention, and hopefully you guys agree, is for them to look like little nails, as if they were hammered in and are holding on this little handle. Now, obviously, this is a tiny little crate. Nobody's going to be trying to pick them up by the handles anyway, but they are not functional. They are just for decor. But I thought this added a sweet little detail to this crate. I love it. Now we're going to put this together, and I have the Farm Fresh piece that we're going to just hot glue on the center of one side, and I'm just kind of putting a little hot glue wherever I can. It's kind of hard on these words, but just a little bit in the kind of along the center way will be enough for it to stick just fine. You can also use like a super glue gel if you wanted, but now this worked just fine. And then I have this fun piece from burlap.com. I'm not totally sure how you are supposed to pronounce it. Sisal fiber in the color natural. And I thought this would be a fun substitute for like Spanish moss. They do have it in a couple of different colors. But before we get back to that, I realized that this crate has a very large openings on the bottom, and I didn't want to make a mess. So I'm just cutting a piece of cardstock down. I didn't attach it or anything. It didn't go all the way across. It just fit in there fine to hold this fiber in place. So it is a little bit tough to get out at first because it's packed in. You get so much in this bag. So I'm cutting it up and then pulling it apart. And I just thought this was a really pretty alternative to using some type of moss. So that's what I'm using it for. And then I have these pretty eggs from Hobby Lobby. I picked them up on clearance last year, a whole bunch of them. I love the colors of them. And when I see these little eggs, I think of these. Obviously, robin's eggs are blue, so these are not all robin's eggs, but I just think of spring, new life. The birds, are the birds showing up at your house or showing up at my house? And spring is in the air. But then the Farm Fresh, I guess, alludes to chicken eggs, so you take from that what you will. But I love how this little piece came out. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Another item I got from burlap.com is these bows. I will take them out and show them to you. I got them in red and in the burlap color, and we're going to just use the burlap color today. But I thought they would be great for Valentine's Day, which is already passed, 4th of July, Christmas, so many uses. So I have this washboard sign that I believe was from Dollar General, and this is a little wreath that was just made out of some leaf garland that I have from somewhere. I'm not sure. We're going to attach, this is a really super simple sign. We're going to attach the burlap bow. They do come with these little clear twist ties. In this one, I'm going to keep the twist tie on, attach it to the little wreath. That wreath may have even come off of a sign from Dollar Tree. I'm not sure. And then I'm just attaching the, kind of rolling in a ball, folding in a ball, the rest of the twist tie in the back as my contact place for my hot glue to go. So that's why I decided to leave the twist tie on, but you could easily take it off. And then attaching that to the washboard. Now at first, when I was pushing this on, I accidentally pushed the wreath up and it was too high up. It was not centered. I didn't like it. So we're going to here's when I decide, yeah, I'm just going to rip it off and peel the hot glue off. And I only lost a couple of leaves, no big deal. Reattach it and make sure we stay centered on this one. This little washboard was just maybe $3 at the dollar store, at Dollar General, which is a dollar store, I guess. I don't know, depending on how you look at it. Anyways, it was not expensive, and I'm sure I got it on clearance. Now for this top piece, I was looking at a resin mold that I had that a friend gave me. That blessed word came from Dollar Tree. I really liked that. But then I also had these stickers, which are from the Crafter Square at Dollar Tree. And there was one that I thought was the perfect colors and size to go in here at the top. So that's what I'm choosing. The foam sticker on the back is not quite centered, so I didn't want it to be all weird. So I peeled it off, and I am using this foam tape from the Dollar Tree, but you could also just hot glue or whatever the piece on. But I did like the idea of it being elevated a little bit, so I added my own foam tape there and just peeling the other side off. It's like a double-sided foam tape. And that is it for this one, just attaching things to things and putting it all together. And I think it's really simple. The green wreath just gives me kind of spring feel as well. So let me know what you think about this one. I will say the little washboard signs are fun, but washing machines are one of those modern technology things that I'm very grateful for. I will say that. No washboards needed for my clothes, but cute decor. Up next, I have this milk can. This was from Dollar General. I love the dollar stores. Dollar General, Family Dollar, Dollar Tree. Dollar General and Dollar Tree are my favorite. But I'm going to just use my heat gun to easily get the bow off, just to heat up the hot glue, just to make it easier to get it off. And we're going to give this a wipe down with some rubbing alcohol. This has been kind of in my stash for a while, and I didn't want there to be any debris or oils or, anything like that in the way. We're going to go in with some antique wax, and I'm going to go on pretty thick with this at first. I don't know that I've ever just antique waxed something as is. Usually it's like after I've painted it, but I wanted to see how it would work to make this white milk can look a little bit older. I never know what word to use because I feel like they mean something different to everybody, whether you're going for farmhouse or rustic, even traditional uses a lot of definitions for traditional decor. It talks about natural elements and those kinds of things. So some of those are kind of interchangeable sometimes, but either way, this is the look I like. So I'm just putting on a thick coat, just stuck my hand right inside that vase so I could get the whole thing going. And then before it dries, but not as soon as I brushed it on, we're going to wipe it off. But I wanted to do the whole thing before I started wiping any of it back. So I'm going in with a paper towel, and I'm going over it quite a bit, but I'm not trying to get into all the grooves. I'm not leaving it to look the same everywhere. It's a little thicker in some places, especially by the rims. I don't know, any of the seams. I let it build up in some places. So just wiping it back to a look that I like. Now, I don't usually wait any length of time, but I did read on the bottle that you should wait 24 hours and then buff it. So I did go back after 24 hours and tried buffing it, and I did get a little bit off, so maybe that was a good idea. I don't know. I don't usually read directions, but I decided to try to follow it. But I absolutely loved how this one came out. Very simple, but we are going to add some embellishment here. This is the frayed 1.5 inch burlap ribbon from burlap.com in black, and there is a lot that comes in this roll. Now, it is a frayed ribbon, so it's not going to be all tightly woven, so just handle it carefully and it'll be just fine, but it's not one of their tighter ones. They have both on their website, but I thought this one was really fun and rustic looking. So I cut a strip of that off, and we're going to hot glue that across the top, and I am going to use my finger protector because the hot glue will go straight through that. And I thought that this kind of brought out the black trim elements on the can. And then I am pulling the twist tie out of this burlap ribbon from burlap.com, putting some hot glue on there, and we're just going to hot glue that in the center. And this was just added a really nice detail while also still keeping this one neutral. I put a little bit of greenery in there, bring the green plants back for spring, ready to see things growing again. But I enjoyed this one, and it was so simple and an easy makeover for this little milk can slash vase, which is kind of what it's being used as. We're starting off this next project with a picture frame. I have no idea where this one came from. I've had it for a long time. I've made it over a couple of times, but you can get some nice frames at the Dollar Tree, lots of nice frames at the thrift store, or maybe one you just have around the house that you don't want anymore. So I pulled the glass out, and I did put a piece of paper in there, or paper towel in there, just to kind of protect the backing. Not that it really would have mattered if paint got on it. I'm using a light beige paint, acrylic paint that is in my stash, because I'm trying to use up my paints that I have. This one had been previously given kind of a chippy look, and I think I might have used mineral chalk paint on there. I'm not positive, but I'm going to give this another coat. I think I did kind of 2 coats, not like 2 full coats of the whole thing. And I liked that there was like the black, the frame was originally black. That was underneath, and then I had this other kind of taupey colored paint, and then the beige paint that tan paint that I'm using right now. Is there a difference between tan and beige? I don't know. I think there is. But anyway, I am just going to give that a coat. And then once that is fully dry, we're going to sand it back and bring out some of the taupey color and some of the black color in pieces. So it kind of gives this layered, distressed look to the frame. I was using a pretty coarse sandpaper, but I was going very lightly so that I didn't go too far. But there were places where I wanted both layers of paint to come off. So I was using a coarse sandpaper. I just was light to the touch to give me varying degrees of distress. If you are enjoying this video, please give this video a thumbs up. That lets me know that you're enjoying it. It lets YouTube know that you're enjoying it, which in turn makes them more likely to share it with others. All right, now that we are all done sanding down our frame, I have these transfers that somebody gave me, some rub-on transfers. This one is a large one that gets pieced together, so half of it is on one sheet and then a little portion of it is on the other sheet. But I was just trying to figure out what ones I was going to do. We'll come back to that in a second. We're going to put those transfers onto a piece of canvas or burlap. No, this is canvas. And I'm just using my little iron to flatten it out. And then I'm needing to find the placement for the transfer that I'm using. And so I'm just laying the glass of the frame across the tops to just make sure I'm, in the right spot. I don't know that I did this the easiest way possible, but it's the way I did it. You can also put the transfer on the glass, but I wanted to put it on the canvas and see how that went. This one I am cutting out all sorts of pieces because this is one large continuous transfer. I believe these are from IOD, and someone gave these to me, and they're for a large piece, and because I'm not doing a large piece, I was cutting out some of the little bits and pieces that didn't kind of make sense with a smaller portion. So we're going to get this going. These have a pretty good stick to them. I don't know if all rub-on transfers work well on fabric, but to me it was worth trying, and I was thrilled with the result. So if you have some, even if they're from the Dollar Tree, I would give it a try. So I'm just using my little scraper tool, which is, by the way, from the Dollar Tree. And I did speed this up a little bit. It wasn't hard, but it did take a little bit to get it going. But once I got that initial transfer, I just pulled the top sheet back carefully and made sure that everything was releasing onto the canvas from the plastic sheet. And then once that was fully released, you just take the top sheet and rub it over top to make sure it's all sealed down. Now here is the rest of that image, and I'm just trying to line them up. My head's going to get in the way, and we're going to do the same thing. I love how this came out. I do like color for spring, and you will see some color in some videos coming up. So if you like color, don't worry, that's coming. And of course, this could be done with color, but I loved the spring, the flowers, the bird, but also adding in a neutral element is nice. So clean the glass, then we're going to lay the canvas in here. And I had it hanging out over the edges because I figured that would hold it in the tightest. And this is one of those frames that the back doesn't come fully out of. So I just kind of messed with it until we got it in, and I love it. I'm going to use some of this frayed black ribbon from burlap.com once again. And we're going to make ourselves a little messy bow for a little embellishment on the frame. This is totally optional. You don't have to do anything else than what is already done, but I just wanted to, I don't know, try out some things, different ways of embellishing. This is a frayed ribbon, so it is frayed. I'm going to trim it down a little bit, but don't overly handle it because it's not a tightly woven piece and it will come undone. And I'm going to cut some thinner strips. This is not, I don't want this bow. Did I say we were doing that? I think I did. We were going to make a messy bow. I don't want the bow to overwhelm the frame. I just want a little accent at the top. So I'm cutting some strips of that. And then I went into my stash and I had this piece of, I think this might have been like a canvas bag or something. I don't even know. I keep scraps, guys, in my stash. Scraps that I don't even always know where they came from. Some more burlap ribbon here in a different shade. And we're going to do the crisscross kind of layering type of bow. I thought that would work better for this frayed ribbon because I thought trying to actually make a bow on it, it might fall apart. I don't know. And then I have this lacy ribbon from the Dollar Tree as well. I love this. It's like a little feminine touch, but it's neutral and it's like sturdy still. It's like dainty, but not too dainty. I don't know. I'm not sure that I'm describing it with great words, but I'm going to put black on the top as well because I did want the black accent here. And then I'm just using this, I don't even know what this is, some type of ribbon. You can use twine or whatever to just tie it off in the middle. That is all I did here. And then what happens is all of those little ribbon strips just kind of start fraying out and start looking a little bit like a bow. And I just wanted to show you how much is on this roll of ribbon. This is going to last a long time and go a long ways. Okay, now I'm doing just a little dab of hot glue and we're going to attach this to the corner of the frame. Again, totally optional, but I think it is a nice, fun little accent touch. I wanted to pull out a little bit of the black in the frame and a little bit of black in the lines of the transfer, but I wanted it to still be lighter. So I thought the layering of the different colors and shades did nice on this one. Let me know what you think. It's a little hard to get a camera shot because of the glass and reflection. So I was trying to be kind of strategic in how I was doing that. But let me know what you think of this piece. I love it. The transfer is absolutely beautiful. But there's a lot of ways you could get something similar. You could just even use a printout or a calendar page. Find something you like and put it in a frame. Put it on canvas in a frame. So great. And I wanted to show you the details of the distressed frame. But I was pleased with this one. Let me know what you guys think about this one down in the comments below. Thank you once again to burlap.com for sending me those fun items to try out. I will have everything linked down in the description box below, so make sure you check it out. All right, well, that is going to do it for today's video. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you are new. Say hello down in the comments, even if you just leave an emoji. Let me know that you are here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.